Hey guys, this is Eric.
It's Tim.
And we are D&E Miniature and Board Games. So Tim, I thought maybe we would finally unbox my Rivet War stuff.
I have been looking at that box on your shelf for quite some time, so I'm actually really glad you made the offer to unbox it with me.
You know, we bought this at the CMON Expo last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because Glenn and I played both the regular game and we also played some experimental rules that they have where you can play this just like a normal miniature game. Most of the time the figures on the boards, they move 2 spaces each turn. When you want to play like a miniature game, instead of 2 spaces each turn, you times that by 2 and they will go like 4 inches. Or if the planes, I think, went 6 spaces, they go like 12 inches. Things like that.
Okay.
I don't have any planes though.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
So, let's open up the base game first. Rivet Wars Eastern Front. And the typical Cool Mini rulebook.
Yeah, once again, in case you didn't know, I know Rivet Wars has been out for a little while, but it's a Cool Minis or not, which is another thing that intrigues me because I know Zombicide is a real fun game, and it was done by Cool Mini as well, so I really look forward to checking this one out and seeing what it's all about.
Now, half the book, 20 pages, is a rule book. The other half is different scenarios you can play, if you don't just want to throw it out and set it up and play whatever you want.
And I know that you said that, at CMON, you met some of the folks from Cool Mini, and their stance on their games is, it's your game.
Do what you want with it.
Do what you want with it. Take it and run with it. Make it fun however you see.
But normal Cool Mini, you got some cards to... Honestly, I'm not even sure if we used these when we played. Because I remember playing it the normal way. But most of what I remember is when we were on a group of 8x4 and there were like 10 of us playing like a regular miniature game with rulers and all that stuff. Cool Mini, normally they give you a set of dice because, like gamers don't have dice.
Everything needs dice.
So, let's go into the first box of minis. See what we got. And what we have here is the Blight and the Allied Forces.
Ah.
It's 2 different type of walkers. And folks, we will have these going in a pan and crop for you. And then all the nitty gritty. So Blight has this little monowheel.
Ha!
And the Allied Forces get a little trike.
Trikes and monowheels.
And then you got a machine gun for the Blight. And an artillery piece for the Allied. And then in here, you got a couple special characters, the commander figures for the Allied. I'm just going to set that up over here. And
like unwrapping one of my mom's Christmas presents. There's so much frickin' tape.
And these are just your normal Allied and Blight infantry. And you've got your Blight commander figure there. They do have a couple different poses. And I know there's a couple special figures in each one. Honestly, like I said, remembering exactly, this was almost, 6 months ago I went to Cool Mini, so...
I'm just noticing right here, Eric, as you unboxed it and pulled it out, looks like there's a... No, he was just turned. It looked like there was some damage to the rifle, but it's just the way it was laying in its cell here.
So, here's your cards, and if I remember, they should... Well, here's your cards.
Good job.
And you'll notice on here it has movement and attack factors and things like that. It's range, what it can fight. And each one of the things here tells, in the rules, it tells a different, like, I think 1-1, that's infantry, that's like the dreadnoughts, things like that.
Now, are these the cheat sheet kind of cards, or are these...
These are your cheat sheet kind of cards.
Okay. I was going to ask, because they look, I don't know if you can see it as well on the camera, but they look like they're sectioned, and I didn't know if maybe they punched out or were perforated to tear off. But yeah, these are, it's all one sheet.
Now also Cool Mini gives you some terrain. Just like some of the other games with Bum Box, you just lay it down on the board.
Right.
You can, and that's the great thing about Cool Mini, they do sell a terrain pack. So you can get all this stuff in hard plastic and raised if you want. They do that with all their games. Zombie side, you know, it's got the doors if you want it. It's
Right.
got the plastic templates. The one that, the others, honestly, I can't remember what the others had. I was so interested in the figures.
Right, and just by the way, I'm looking forward to that one as well. When did you say the others might be out?
I don't know. They're, let's see. Right now, Black Plague is supposed to ship before Christmas. Just the core box. We'll get all the stretch goals and everything after Christmas.
Yeah.
Besieged is supposed to be first week of January. They're supposed to be shipping out.
So it's no time soon.
I think the others was March or May. I just can't remember exactly.
Right.
Your tiles. The typical Cool Mini tiles that you lay out, and you lay it out in different form. Now this one, of course, I'm just going to show you the one. It's got a little trench system in it. The scenarios have them set out. Just like Zombie side, you got the numbered templates. I believe these are double-sided.
They appear to be, at any rate. You know,
I just don't remember what I did with my knife. It'll be okay.
Yeah. It'll be all right.
Now,
and then all these you said are
these were
Kickstarter
exclusives. Right? They were stretch goals. That's one of the other things about when you go to the CMON Expo. For every $25 you spend, you can get exclusives. If they've got Kickstarter exclusives left over, you can pick them up. I've got, for the Allied Forces, this is Atomic Robo. Man in Charge was a neutral. And like you said earlier, this is...
looks like Nick Fury.
Nick Fury, yep. Because it's typical of Cool Mini.
Right.
You got R100 here for the Blight forces, and like you said, it looked like the very first Iron Man.
Yeah, kind of a steampunky Iron Man looking figure.
The Veteran is Rambo for Allied forces. You got Rosie the Riveter.
I have no idea on that one, but I'm sure it's somebody of significant importance.
Now, you also got Baby Girl. Now we know where Baby Girl's from.
Yes, Baby Girl looks like the chick from... Jesus, what's the name
Sucker
of
Punch.
Sucker Punch.
She is a neutral character, so you can use her for Blight or Allied. And then, the Treasure Hunter. The Treasure Hunter is... Indiana Jones.
Yes. Indy himself.
And like I said, we will have these all unboxed, and this will be being shown somewhere in one of these corners.
Here, or here.
It may be over the face. Now, I also picked up Rivet War Spearhead. This is an expansion that gives you a little bit more. It gives you guns for the vehicles, or the dreadnoughts rather.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can set up like turret bases and just use them as unmanned weapon systems.
Set up like sentries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see there's some dogs in there.
There's dogs. Yep, the Blight have dogs.
Oh, wow.
And so does the Allied forces.
They look like they got pugs. What's up with that?
Right. If I remember correctly, the dogs in these are like medics. If I remember.
Well, I mean, it would make sense, though. You look at the Allied, they got the little container for like the St. Bernards. Wasn't that supposed to be full of brandy or something?
Yeah, for the avalanche victims.
I don't know how that helps somebody. I mean, it's like, here, get drunk before you die.
Now with this, we also got the cards.
Right, of course, you need the cards.
So, like, right on the front is the Mountaineer, and he's got 2 movement. He's got an attack value of 1. You know, if I remember correctly, when I played this, long range, the allies are great, but when you get in close, you want Blight.
Yeah.
Blight just devastates things, if I remember correctly, at close range. But the ally, they pretty much got to, like, well, you know, I mean, they've got an artillery piece.
Yeah. Looks like a little howitzer.
Yeah. And you can tell almost all the Blight stuff is close range.
Yeah. Now, you say you played this at CMON.
I played it at CMON.
How is the gameplay? You say that you got to break out the ruler and all that kind of good stuff. So
that's if you play like a normal miniature game. Now, if you play the board game style, if I remember correctly, they move the amount of spaces. Like this one, the Mountaineer would move 2 spaces every turn. You take turns moving different figures. I think you only move a couple at a time, and every round you get to bring out a certain amount of points. Like I think it's like 4 points worth of figures. So you can bring out a block of 4 infantry.
Right.
Or you can bring out like 2 infantry and maybe a trike.
Okay.
When we played with like a miniature game, then it was a point value you could bring out. And I think it was something in the range of like 10 or 12 points you could bring out a turn. I mean, by the end, we'd given up figuring out, it was like, because you had a certain amount of points you could play with. And every time you took a certain amount out, it took away from that point value.
Right.
But I think by the end, we'd given up.
So basically, as a mini game, it is vanquish the opponent as quickly
Kill
as possible.
Everything on the board.
And the board game is a little bit more strategic, meant to maybe last longer.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, you have like objectives you have to get, and once you capture 2 of the 3, you won the game. We had the same thing set up with the 8x4, but instead of like there being like 2 or 3 objectives across the center, we had 2 on our side, there were 2 on the other side, and there were 3 in the center. And one of the rules was, once you caught one of those objectives, you could spawn your troops from that objective.
Oh.
Instead of having to bring them all the way from the back.
Okay, so cool. So this would be a game that kind of like the Great War that we did recently. It would be a game where the scenarios may be
lopsided.
Not only lopsided, but it would be a challenge to flip sides.
Well,
and alternate. In other words, if you started with Blight and you won with Blight, try to win with the allies.
I don't think so with this. I think if I recall, I think they're pretty even up on both sides, because that's Cool Benny's way. They make more of collaboration games where you have to work with other people. Because even Arcadia Quest, which by the way, folks, Inferno just ended, 1.7 million.
That's impressive.
And I'm waiting for that. But even with Arcadia Quest, though you're playing against another team, there is still some cooperation going on. Not a lot, because one of the objectives is to kill one of the other players' figures. But there is still some cooperation going on. This one, there's not any cooperation going on, but it's not designed to be a lopsided game. It's designed that if I have 10 points of figures, you have 10 points of figures.
Right.
Now, what you buy with those 10 points, that makes a difference. And like I said, the Allied, you really want to have some range with the Allies. They get hurt hard. Blight is, it's like it says, Blight.
Yeah. Send them in and slaughter en masse.
So, folks, this is Rivet Wars. Like I said, you will probably already be seeing figures in one of the corners or across one of our faces. If you have any comments, please leave them in our comment section. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have a Facebook page.
Check us out on Facebook.
I have actually started working on that a little bit more in the last few days. The Facebook page will focus mainly on, I will be sharing different Kickstarters that are going on. So if you aren't familiar with Kickstarter, you can go on there and watch some of the videos for the Kickstarter games that are coming up or already actually running.
We got a lot of ideas, guys. We're kicking stuff around every day. We're obviously we're just like most of y'all. This is a hobby. This is for me. I'm breaking into it. It's another way for me to use my imagination.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of breaking into it too.
Little bit. So, everything that Eric's posting up and Don's posting up, these guys are deep in it. Eric's been for years, and Don as well.
Actually, Don and I figured it out, and between the two of us, we have 78 years of gaming experience. He started out, I believe, I remember correctly, with D&D. I started out with Axis and Allies. I mean, I think I started before Axis and Allies. Yes, my original Axis and Allies game right here. 1984.
I was watching football games and pooping my pants. Well, no, 84. I take that last part back.
Because he's still pooping his pants. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, please leave them. Please subscribe to our channel.
Like and share, like and share.
Like and share. And as always, guys, support your local gaming store.
And we game in Treefort.
We have done too many this week. As always, guys, game on.
Game on, folks.